How did this sweet substance poison the world? The dark history of sugar. Once upon a time, a single spoonful of sugar cost a worker an entire week's wages. For this white crystal, millions were chained, oceans were crossed, cities were burned. And today, we give it to children as a reward. This is the true story of sugar. Sugar is everywhere in our lives today. In tea, in coffee, in cake, at celebrations, holidays, in our childhoods. But when exactly did it become so ordinary? In the early 1800s, the average English worker consumed just 2 cards of sugar per year. Today, the global average exceeds 25 cards per person annually. In the United States, that number is closer to 40 cards. For centuries, sugar was not a food. It was a weapon. So how did it become so innocent? Statistics source, FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, 2022 data, can be shown as a visual infographic. Sugarcane is a tropical plant. It was first domesticated around 8000 BC in New Guinea. For thousands of years, only local populations chewed it for sweetness. It spread to India, then to the Middle East. In the 7th century, Arabs learned to refine sugar, and crystallized sugar appeared for the first time in history. Europe encountered this sweetness during the Crusades. It was so valuable that it was kept under lock and key in apothecaries. 1450. 1 pound of sugar in England was worth approximately $50 in today's money. 1600s. Venetian merchants sold sugar as white gold. Medieval medicine. Sugar was prescribed as a remedy for everything from toothaches to the plague. Sugar was luxury in the truest sense of the word. And luxury meant power. In the 15th century, Europeans realized something. Tropical islands, especially the Caribbean, were perfect for growing sugarcane. The Portuguese started, the Spanish continued, the English perfected it. But there was a problem. Sugarcane was a plant that devoured human beings. Cutting, hauling, boiling. 16-hour workdays. The death rate on plantations was horrifying. In Jamaica, the average enslaved person survived only 7 to 10 years. New people were constantly needed. The solution? Slavery. Between 1500 and 1900, more than 12.5 million Africans were forcibly transported to the Americas. At least 2 million perished during the voyage. Haiti, Saint-Domingue. By 1789, it was the world's largest sugar exporter and home to the largest enslaved population in the Western Hemisphere. Barbados. 90% of the island was converted to sugarcane fields. Forests were completely destroyed. As sugar grew cheaper, human life grew cheaper. Visual suggestion. Cross-section diagram of the slave ship Brooks, 1788. Publicly available historical document. The system was perfect, and it was horrifying. Europe, Africa. Guns, textiles, metal goods. Africa, Americas, enslaved labor. Americas, Europe, sugar, rum, cotton. This was called the triangular trade. It was the backbone of the global economy in the 18th century. Cities like Bristol, Liverpool, and Bordeaux grew wealthy from this trade. Much of the historic architecture in these cities was built with sugar money. Rum and sugar. Caribbean rum became standard rations in the British Royal Navy. Soldiers drank grog, diluted rum, every day. This substance was a structural part of the war economy. Sugar was the fuel of this system. It was sweet, but it was soaked in blood. The sugar industry today is still built on inequality. The world's largest sugar producers, Brazil, India, Thailand, China. Nearly all of them are former colonial geographies or economies dependent on cheap labor. But who profits most from sugar? Western corporations like Cargill, Südzucker, and AB Foods, maintaining their historical advantages. Global sugar trade, over $60 billion annually. 70% of that revenue is controlled by just 5 companies. History changed, but the balance of power changed very little. Sugar was expensive. As taxes rose, people grew furious. 1789, France. Bread was nowhere to be found. Sugar had become inaccessible. And in Versailles, a grand feast was served every night. The phrase attributed to Marie Antoinette, "Let them eat cake," was the perfect symbol of this divide. The people's rage turned against churches, palaces, and aristocratic estates. But perhaps the most striking revolution happened in Haiti. 1791, the enslaved people of Saint-Domingue rose up, their leader, Toussaint Louverture. After 12 years of war, the world's first successful slave revolution was complete. Haiti declared independence in 1804. The people who burned the world's greatest sugar paradise chose fire to break their own chains. France demanded 150 million francs in reparations before recognizing Haitian independence, equivalent to roughly $21 billion today. Haiti finished paying this debt in 2015. This fact will be shocking to most viewers. Emphasize it. In the mid-20th century, scientists discovered something startling. Sugar hijacks the brain. When you consume sugar, your brain's reward center releases dopamine. The same system activates when you exercise or spend time with someone you love. But sugar triggers this system far more rapidly and intensely. And over time, the brain adapts. It wants more. Rat study, Princeton 2002. Rats with constant access to sugar showed withdrawal symptoms similar to morphine addiction when access was removed. HFCS, high fructose corn syrup, became widespread in the US in the 1970s. As industrial production costs fell, obesity rates began to climb in parallel. The sugar industry knew this too. In the 1960s, sugar companies funded scientists to prove that the real cause of heart disease was fat, not sugar. This information was buried for 50 years. This wasn't just a sweetener. This was manipulation. Today, 200 million tons of sugar are produced worldwide every year. Sugar isn't just in sugar. It's in bread, ketchup, medicine, and even baby formula. 74% of processed foods sold in supermarkets contain hidden sugar, and labels conceal it. Sucrose, glucose, fructose, dextrose, maltose, lactose. It appears under more than 50 different names. One can of soda contains roughly 10 teaspoons of sugar. If you tried to eat that much sugar in teaspoons, your stomach would reject it. In liquid form, the brain processes it differently. U.S. sugar industry, worth over $50 billion annually. And the sugar lobby directly influences health policy at the federal level. Time to uncover the truth about the sugar we think is healthier. White sugar is fully refined. Its natural molasses, vitamins, and minerals are stripped away. What remains is pure empty calories. Brown sugar, it's white sugar with molasses added back in. The color changed, but the chemical structure is nearly identical. The same system that enslaved millions for centuries is being reproduced in your kitchen today, quietly. How to make brown sugar at home. Add half a teaspoon of molasses or treacle to white sugar. Stir. That's it. And you're paying 2 to 3 times more for this natural product at the grocery store. Visual suggestion. Live experiment. Make brown sugar on camera in front of the lens. Now that you know all this, what can you actually do? Develop a habit of reading labels. Count how many different names sugar appears under. Choose whole grains, fruits, and vegetables over processed foods. Replace sugary drinks with water and unsweetened alternatives. Approach marketing terms like natural, organic, and brown with healthy skepticism. Try a 3-week sugar detox. Scientific research shows it can genuinely reset your brain's reward sensitivity. This isn't a guilt trip. Understanding the system is the first step toward making truly free choices. Sugar is not our enemy today, but everything we consume without knowing its history makes us a little more blind. A sugar producer spent centuries building a system to make you addicted. An enslaved person gave their life to produce that same sugar, and a marketer sold it to you as natural. The simplest things have the most complex histories.